Hello again, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Pass the Controller. Tonight with me is Tony and Justin. I am your host, K7, and tonight we bring you another PTC free play. For those who have never seen the show before, what a PTC free play is pretty much what we do when we do not get enough for a full-on Pass the Controller episode, but we want to talk about the topics anyway, and as an added benefit, I get to join in to the conversations. It's quite fun. So, alright, well, let's get right to it. Our first topic tonight involves something called top player privilege. In the recent Press Start Super Smash Bros. Tournament, it was notable because there were multiple really high-ranked players that were hit by some that essentially no-showed to their events. Now, if they weren't really high-ranked or big names, what usually happens in regards to no-shows is that they're essentially disqualified. But for these players, their names were essentially so well known that they got placed into the losers bracket as it was like they just lost the match instead. Do you guys think that was a good idea, or should they have essentially disqualified them like most people? Tony?
So the thing about the Smash Brothers community as it is right now, it's really starting to blow up. It's getting huge.
It's been huge.
Right, but it's only gotten bigger over the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, ever since it got back into Evo, or Melee that is, it's drawn more than Street Fighter. It's getting more entrants than Street Fighter for the most part.
Oh, wow.
Probably because it's a more accessible game.
Yes.
But it is just as challenging to be at that top level. So I think this is kind of carryover from the way it used to be. For those that aren't really into the Smash Brothers community, there are 5 gods that they like, the Smash Brothers gods. There's Mango, who's like the best of the best, the GOAT they call him, greatest of all time. You have Hungry Box, PPMD, U2 King. And who else am I missing?
S2. It's not. Let's see.
It's not S2J.
Leffen. Leffen?
I don't think he's a god yet. He's
definitely a heel. That's for damn sure.
Oh, he's an asshole. But there's, who am I missing? I feel like an asshole for not knowing this. But anyways,
he's not well known.
Yeah,
he's not well known.
I'm just blanking on it. But anyway, so in the past you had these, Armada.
Yes, that's it.
The Peach player now turned Fox. But
yep.
So you have these top level players that they win everything. I mean,
unless they face each other.
Right, but somebody from that group wins every single time. There's very, very few instances where one of those guys, if they're in the tournament, they're winning or placing top 3, every single time. And they're the names, they're the big draws of the tournament. So I understand not DQing them from that perspective, because you have these people want to see the top players play, but at the same time, in a community that's growing immensely, you have to start just saying, fuck that. I don't care who you are. Yeah. Show up on time, get to your match. You know when it is. Be there.
It's very disrespectful to show up 45 minutes late to a big tournament.
Then there's money on the line. There's a lot of people there. You should
be holding it up. It's like they don't care.
Absolutely. And yeah, exactly.
But the thing is I also think that kind of holds the whole pro gaming back a bit, because if that happened in a professional sport, they'd be suspended. They would have to sit out the game, or repeated absences, they'd be suspended from the team, or something.
But this type of thing wouldn't happen at Evo. It wouldn't happen at the big house. It wouldn't happen at
it's not the press
CEO
start.
Or anything like that. But the majors, or Apex, it's not going to happen at those because people take those really, really seriously. But yeah, it shouldn't matter who you are. It shouldn't matter what tournament it is. Be a professional. If you want to be a professional gamer, those top 5 players, they're for the most part they all can be considered like pro Smash players. So
Yes,
act
they
like
can.
it, be an example.
Act your role.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like be a role model for these other guys. But there are people that hold these guys to that standard. Juggle guy, who is actually from the Michigan Smash scene.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Heard
like
him.
the infamous like best TO out there, best tournament organizer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he actually they just had an article about him for like Red Bull's like esports blog or whatever,
Maybe I should
talking
get back
about
into
how it's really good. It's actually a really good read. But
I'm saying
talking
maybe
about-
I should get back into the TO scene because I used to run tournaments myself.
Yeah,
Years
and
ago.
and what he's done for the Smash community in Michigan is unbelievable because it's a no nonsense. He runs it like a business, and
Yeah,
if you're
wonder
not
how
there,
much
then
money's
you're
in it.
fired, aka you're DQ'd, like you're out.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. So yeah, it's a complicated situation for Smash because the game's been around for so long that there's these bad habits that are peaking up, but like if you want the game to get taken seriously at a high level, be professional.
Mm-hmm.
Like do your job.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, the thing that really surprised me was, it's actually listed inside the rules that players entered in the losers bracket should be those who are present upon the bracket closure. So it's just, I don't know.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So it's disrespectful for the other people who did show up on time. Hell, even Leafin was calling it out, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like if he's calling something out, you did something dumb, because he really has no room to talk in terms of doing stuff like that. But it's just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, with Leffen,
Leffen, that's it.
yeah, say what you will about his personality.
Oh, he's good. Oh, I respect his ability, just
like,
not how he acts.
He's an asshole. He does it, but like he plays into that heel role because sometimes you need that in a community. Like, why do you think they have it in pro wrestling? Like, it's part of the whole
but this
thing. It's part of the drama. It's part of like you see the same thing in Street Fighter too. You see these giant rivalries develop, and it's a good thing for the community. Like he's an asshole, whatever, but like he backs it up with skill, and I've never seen him take advantage of the fact that he's one of the top players. I've never seen that out of him. He shows up, he does his work, and that's it. And he doesn't want to stop until he's the best, which is awesome. It's great, good for him.
Well, but isn't that what everyone
I wish
everyone
Mewtwo
does?
King would take. What'd you say?
Isn't that what everyone does though? Tries to
Not
be the
necess-
best.
Not necessarily. I mean, look at a guy like Mewtwo King. I mean, like
Some people are just chill.
He's unbelievable. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. He's super technical. Like I've never seen tech skill like that out of somebody. Well, I mean, Leffen's right there, and so is Mango, but whatever. But he's infamous for this type of stuff. And you can't have that. There's a reason why he's been sponsored a couple times and he's lost it. Like there's reasons for that.
Like he doesn't take it seriously.
Yeah, or he's scatterbrains. He's not organized enough. Like whatever it is, it shouldn't matter. Get out there and be there when it's your time. And I don't mean to badmouth him because I like him as a player. I love watching him play. But like if that's what's gonna happen, then take it more seriously. Or just don't show up at all.
But okay, Justin, you have any thing you want to add?
No, I mean, obviously, I let you and Tony talk because you two know the scene vastly better than I do. But on the flip side, like, I've always felt that Smash is kind of like the only game in esports that has kind of the same, like, fanatical following that League of Legends and Dota have, for example. And you see that same kind of attitude in both those sports at minor events. You have League teams show up late and games be held for them. You've seen Dota teams, the same Dota players, same thing.
But
so it's not
a lot of Street Fighter has a rabid fighting base, as does BlazBlue, Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah. But I mean,
Tekken.
like, outside of
You ever seen a Tekken tournament? Holy crap!
Yeah, but outside of the normal games you expect, like,
okay. Well,
Smash is always just kind of there.
Well,
Like, to be.
But then again, wait, hold on, it's Smash is part of it. Smash is a major game. It's not like it's just out of left field like a freaking Lethal League
Well, even
tournament.
that, but you've seen Street Fighter, Tekken, and all those games their kind of popularity.
They're the grandpas, yes,
because
they've been around
and wax, and they have. Where Smash, League, Dota, they're consistent. Like to me, they're the consistent sports. And like for Smash as a fighting game to be that consistent is the thing for me.
Well, Street Fighter is very consistent too. You have the same people in there too.
Well, you have the same people, but the overall player base at tournaments tends to shift quite a bit for those games. And other fighter games that have come in, like Persona Arena, which had a really competitive scene for a while, that Smash, like,
but you're comparing Smash to Persona. Persona would be a better example as more of like a niche crew.
Yeah,
well, that's
absolutely.
The thing, like,
yeah.
For a game that's so accessible, like Smash, like Tekken, Street Fighter to me are more technical fighters. But for Smash to rise to the success that normally technical games have is my thing. Like to me, it's not
Smash is a much more technical game than people realize.
Well,
Melee is Smash 4 not so much, but I mean there is high level stuff to it.
Smash 4 is all timing. Smash 4 is timing.
There's a lot of like crazy tech things that you have to do in that game, but like Melee's on a whole nother level.
It's the fastest.
It's the fastest. There's more there. People are still discovering tech in that game, and it's been out forever.
Well, they're still going to be discovering. Well, they're still discovering tech in Smash 64. But
yeah, some stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
I don't feel like it's not something like when people think about competitive gaming. Smash isn't one of the first things that will come to people's mind quite that way. But it has the same problems everything else does. Like gaming pro gaming, this is a problem not just in Smash. It's in pro gaming, period. These rockstar godlike figures get away with so much shit. Like there's sexual misconducts that fall around a lot of big players in tournaments that I've seen.
Smash Bros groupies.
Yeah, well, they're just being real sexist assholes. But like
that is gaming in general, which is not good.
Like you said, Justin, this isn't a Smash Brothers problem. This is it's an esports problem. Like if people want to take this stuff seriously, take it seriously, do your job, show up, and play the game, and that's it. Like it's just there's growing pains with any of this stuff, and like TOs need to throw down the gauntlet. Yeah, they gotta stick true to the rules, or it's not gonna get taken seriously. Like fuck that.
But on the opposite side of the coin, will they lose viewers if these big names are eliminated?
Yeah, but
that's the thing. It's like you had like the fan groups that follow these players.
No, I totally agree with you. I absolutely totally agree with you. But the thing is that they will learn. Those top players are not going to stop showing up to tournaments because they got DQ'd one time. Like, no, they're in it because they love playing the game, and they kind of like winning money too, and they know they can. So, if they get DQ'd once and they're like, hey, there's a reason.
They're going to throw a fit on Twitter. That's for damn
sure. And you know what? Let them throw a fit.
That's the drama. That'll add to the drama.
Who gives a shit?
Their fan base gives the shit.
Well, even the fan base. Because, say that happens, all you're going to see is the spotlight's going to shift to a couple players that might not have even gotten noticed before. There are always those players in pro gaming who are on the cusp. And so there's someone to take their place.
This is true.
100%. I mean, that's what Leffen is. Leffen is that guy right now, whereas the 5 Smash gods were so untouchable forever. And now this guy comes not out of nowhere, like he's been in the scene for a while, but like he's ascending to that role. And there's other guys like Amsa too, the Yoshi player. He's unbelievable with Yoshi.
I've seen some S2J matches; they're fantastic.
S2J's been around for a little bit. He plays that awesome Falcon. There's also
here's the list of the three people. Mango was a no-show, and he was the number 1 seed. Hax did not show up, and S2J
surprising.
did not show up.
That's absolutely surprising. So I take back what I said about Mewtwo King, but I know that's been a problem in the past. But Mango, like he knows better than that. He knows better than that.
Granted, all the people who advanced because of the no shows got eliminated the next round.
Yeah,
but they had their opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. It's guys, step it up. That's all you can really say. Like, there's not much else to it.
But then again, you also makes me think. Sometimes you don't need a big name to have a great match.
Because
I've seen some I've been in some really crazy matches on occasion.
Absolutely, like sometimes that's what you like to see. Like I was saying, that guy Amsa, he plays one of the craziest Yoshis I've ever seen in my life, and it's so interesting. Same thing with Hax. Hax plays Pikachu and Young Link, which are very odd characters for that game, but he plays them so well that it's really interesting. And Ice Climbers made it to the semis of that tournament we're talking about. Press start, yeah. And
I need to find some Luigi players to watch.
there are some. I forget. I know in Smash 4,
there aren't nearly. He's like the only one, or like the only.
No,
big,
there's
big
a lot
name.
of good. There's a lot of good.
Yeah, but he's like the only
Luigi
like really well known one.
Yeah, for right now. But
Yeah,
I mean,
right now.
it's an old game, and there's obviously who the best character is. I mean, Fox is the best, and if you play
Tiered, yeah.
if you play Fox at the highest level, you will win, like 100% of the time. Like it comes out of user error. Like it's punching a ticket for a victory if you're good enough with Fox. But
In
regardless,
Melee.
it's in
Not in Smash 4.
Smash 4, it's wide open.
Which is why I love Smash 4 so much right now, because of how wide open it is. You see different characters win, rather than just seeing Fox, Falco, Samus 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
No, I agree. I like seeing different.
I like
characters.
variety.
Yeah, I like seeing stuff race to the top.
All right. Well, that is a good spot to end on for that one. Let's move on to the next topic that we have tonight. I believe this one is more up Justin's alley. This one, we're going to switch gears a bit and go into more like the gaming business part, where Sony is actually predicted to quadruple its profits. What do you guys think that they did to achieve this? Did some of their like moves behind the scenes really pay off, or did Bloodborne really do that well? Justin, I'll let you start with this one.
Okay, so there's a lot of factors going on here. First of all, the amount of branches and companies that Sony has dropped. They just announced this year they're dropping their audio-visual. Square, they dropped their TV branch. They're cutting support back from the
For
Vita.
Sony or Square?
Oh, what?
Sony.
Yeah.
Like all these companies that they have cut off. And part of it is, let's start with Square, one of the biggest changes in Sony from a gaming perspective. They haven't showed an actual profit growth in 3 years.
For Sony, really? Wow.
They've been stable, but as Sony, their overriding company, Sony's going to look at that. That Square they're so all over the place that they have not had actual profit growth for over 3 years. From quarter to quarter, it's stable. Stock prices show very little variation. The dividends returns, same deal. All that stuff. It's pretty normal.
So it's like, but like, what did they do? Did they just cut ties, or did they just restructure?
Well,
Sony owns what, 20 to 30% of Square still.
Okay. So I see what you mean. So Sony owns a lot of Square, but they're essentially cutting themselves off from it now.
Yeah, they're distancing themselves from the company a little. Because they let Square run themselves. And now Square's working on another MMO. They've announced that there's no plans for an expansion beyond the newest Final Fantasy XIV one, because there's no real money to work on a grand expansion again. So there's none of that. Kingdom Hearts 3, they're tied up in that project. The Final Fantasy 15 and Type 0 and all that. All their mobile games, re-releases of games. So they have so much going on as a company and I think that's a large part of why Sony was like, we're no longer going to be your overriding company.
Okay,
you guys are on your own.
So essentially they're going to be quadrupling their profits mainly because they're basically cutting a lot of their losses from
Yeah.
from a lot of the companies that aren't doing as well. But I'm kind of surprised, especially with Square, considering they have the Heaven's Ward coming out. They're re-releasing Final Fantasies by the truckload.
But why?
Except 7, of course.
If you think, well, there's a reason behind that, and supposedly they don't have the original files for Final Fantasy VII. There's no backup of the game file, so they would have to literally redesign the whole game.
Wait, they've re-released it for PC multiple times.
They just re-released the initial one, nothing else. They just put it out there.
Hey, whatever it is, like I think it comes down to more what Sony's strategy has been overall.
Yeah,
during this new console generation, they got out front from the very beginning, from the first initial announcement of the PS4. Like they destroyed Xbox and their whole platform. They had to change.
I don't think they destroyed Xbox, but they definitely did better.
They destroyed when the first console just came out, like 2 years ago when it first started. They absolutely smashed them, and honestly, that's gonna carry them through until the next crop of big games come out. In my opinion, that's what's
and Nintendo didn't strike gold this time.
No, and Xbox has been very reactionary to everything that's been going on, and they haven't been thinking ahead to that next thing. They've been just kind of modeling themselves after what Sony has been doing. And it is shocking though that this year that they're proposed to post these profits, because what did they release? In all honesty, I haven't bought a new game for my PS4.
Yeah, me neither, which is why I was kind of surprised.
Like Shadow of Mordor and
but then
I bought Wolfenstein.
But those were cross-platform.
Exactly, but
it wasn't like
PlayStation
an
4 is PlayStation 4 is becoming the 360 of this generation. It's the one that everybody has and that they play on. And I think what's keeping players on the PS4 and not moving away is that this PlayStation Plus is amazing. Like, I know that Xbox has the games for gold.
Yeah, Xbox Live just started implementing some stuff.
At the beginning of this year, I believe it was, when they started doing that. So again, mirroring what Sony's doing, reactionary, not forward thinking. But if you look at the quality of games that the Xbox is releasing for their gamers with gold, it's not even close to the quality. I got to play some of the best games of the past few generations on the PS4 for free. Transistor was a huge
Transistor
game.
Was great. They had the gold edition of Injustice.
And
that's a full game. That's like a $50 game right there, or not anymore.
Swapper, like that's another awesome indie game. And like,
speaking of which, I need to see what's up with what they have for this month. Haven't checked.
They have Guacamelee, the definitive edition. Ho Hokum, like was it the Black Swan or Broken Swan, whatever that is. Okay. Like some cool indie games. Like they're putting interesting games on there for free. I mean, it's not driving me to purchase any games on the PlayStation, but they will continue to get my money for the PlayStation Plus for sure. And then think about what else they rolled out. The streaming service, PlayStation Now. I mean, I don't know how many people actually use.
I have not.
Nobody's
tried that
actually
yet.
using it that I know of. Like this is a very small environment that I know of. But I mean, that's something new that's come out. I mean, even if they grab a few people here and there just to try it out, I mean, they're getting money from that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're getting viewers. So it seems like they just keep making the right moves.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and I think next year when these big games come out, like when Uncharted comes out, it's going to be huge. When this next E3 is going to be, this next E3 is going to be really big. Here, big prediction. I'm going to make it right now. So obviously, Fallout 4 is coming. I think we all know that's going to happen. It's happening. Dude,
extremely hinting.
There's no way it doesn't happen.
The only downside, it's happening in Boston.
Well, who cares where it happens?
I was hoping that I really want to see a New York/Philly one.
My point is, or my prediction is, watch Fallout 4 sell like double what it does on the PS4 as opposed to the Xbox One. Right. Just watch it happen. Okay. Watch it happen.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like you think of we think of Sony, we think of them as a gaming branch. Yes. Remember, they've been in they were an electronic company first.
Yeah,
for a large part of that growth.
So is Microsoft.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, Microsoft.
Both
of them have. Nintendo was the only one that started out as a game company.
Well, yeah. But both of them have done a lot of corporate restructuring on their electronic branches. siphoning a lot of that off. So they'll get sales of the companies that from the initial selling of those things. Like Sony is now held up by 3 branches where they were a multiple branch company. They have their sensor cameras, which are considered the best on the market, which are the ones that are actually going into Apple iPhones.
Okay.
Which I find kind of funny.
Then in that case, yeah, that definitely made them a lot of money. So, but,
Sony kept Sony Pictures as one of their major branches.
Okay.
And then PlayStation.
But then they just sell the Spider-Man back to Marvel or something like that, or they're licensing it back to Marvel.
Marvel's paying out the ass to get all their characters back.
Oh yeah. So
I mean,
that's one way to make money.
I mean, they're fighting with Fox over all their characters there too.
That is a dick waving
Fox
contest.
is already not going to give them to them. It's a waste of time. That's why they're doing this Inhuman thing.
Well,
to avoid having to use mutants.
I was gonna say, didn't all the mutants just get sent off to another planet or something like that?
Yeah.
Just they essentially went to a farm upstate.
But so Sony's doing so much. They're losing these branches. The good news is that Sony can't afford to ignore gamers. So Tony was saying, expect a lot at E3 because this is
release another set of exclusives.
Company. Yeah. And to talk about Bloodborne, since you brought it up, Bloodborne has shown that exclusives are still viable. For a long time,
viable for people that aren't Nintendo.
Well, yeah. They're saying, oh, exclusives, they're not as important anymore. They're not as vital to the life of a system. Then you get Bloodborne success. And part of that is, to me, it's the players who want to play that game.
But then again, on the opposite side of the coin, you have the Order 1886.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
sucked.
Which is a shame because it was beautiful, but it seems like they put all the budget into making it pretty rather than fixing everything. So essentially they polished up a pile of crap.
Well, yeah, but that's how steampunk games always go. If they look pretty, they tend to be terrible. It's unfortunate. I love steampunk.
I don't know. Freaking Time Splitters was awesome when they were on the steampunk stages.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's occasional really awesome games that are steampunk, but it's such a. I don't really think that mainstream gaming knows what to do with such a niche atmosphere.
That's true.
I don't think they comprehend what to do with it.
Okay.
And so you get something like the Order going on.
Well, it's great for the Steam. Well, Dishonored is steampunk too. That's a fantastic game.
Well, yeah, Dishonored was really great.
Yeah. And technically, you can kind of say that maybe Fallout is kind of a steampunk game because you're essentially using atomic technology.
Apocalyptic than straight up.
That's
okay, fine. All right. Okay, I'll give you that one.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, there are obviously really great steampunk games, but as a whole, it's kind of like this weird style. I think. I find it a very niche atmosphere that's not really played up to the fan base that it would have.
Yeah. I
play a lot of steampunk games, and to this day, I still think the best steampunk game is Arcanum.
That game. Yeah.
You have to go all the way back then. That's a fantastic game. But but Bloodborne to me shows that a good exclusive is still something important to the system.
That's true. It does need a big name, but then again, Microsoft is coming out with the next Halo again.
Well, yeah, and we saw how well the last Halo did.
I liked Halo 4. I actually liked that game.
I'm just talking about the Master Chief Collection and all the problems.
Oh, that one. Oh, you mean the remastering?
Yeah. Well, you saw all the problems, and I know a lot of people.
I have no idea how the hell they had all those technical problems. That boggled my mind.
That's the thing. I know a lot of Halo players who are so worried that the next Halo is going to come out with a bunch of technical problems.
Yeah,
because
they should be worried about that because
343
hasn't proven anything yet.
Well, you could say the same thing about the next Assassin's Creed too, Syndicate.
I think the next
Jolly
Assassin's
old England
Creed is going to be fucking terrible.
Jolly old England's Assassin's Creed, beating people down with a Cockney accent.
If the trend of Assassin's Creed has shown me anything, the next one's going to be god awful terrible. It has been a downward spiral for that franchise. I feel.
Well, I don't know.
Black Flag
was fantastic.
Really like people really like Black Flag though.
I love. That's my favorite one in the series.
I feel like there's going to be an uptick
Yeah, it's like
But,
good, bad,
but
good, bad.
who knows? Like,
Yeah.
Ubisoft is going down the Call of Duty route where they're putting a game out every single year, multiple games a year now.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, are you putting enough time and effort into these things? Like, I would hate to see it be a disaster again, but I mean, who knows? I mean,
Who knows?
at this point, these companies are writing their own ticket.
Yeah.
People are going to buy the games, but they won't buy them forever. So just put out a good product. Just do your job. Just like the last topic. Just do your goddamn job.
Just do your goddamn. That's pretty much what it is.
Speaking of purchasing games, that's a great segue to our next topic. GOG is releasing its own digital distribution service, joining EA and Ubisoft to rival Steam. Think they'll be able to make a dent in this behemoth?
I'm so excited about this. You have no idea. When I read this as a topic, I was like, oh my god, best news ever.
But it's like, but then again, they could be having the same issues as Steam, or like say like, but like EA.
Base already.
Well, it's like, while EA and Ubisoft, they make their own games that they could populate their own distribution system with.
Well, yeah, but they can't.
Now you're gonna have people basically having exclusive
Steam
deals again. You might have exclusive deals like this is only found on GOG, or this is only found on Steam, or you're gonna get, say, like the EA games. That's not gonna appear on either of them.
Well,
what library do they have to go to really pull from to make people go away from Steam?
Well, to be fair, GOG has been used for a long time. I've been using Good Old Games for as long as I've been using Steam, and to see them have a launcher to organize that, I was excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times now, GOG is cheaper than Steam.
Yes,
it is.
Yes, it is.
And it's DRM free.
Right.
Yeah, DRM free. Just as wide of sales because GOG isn't bogged down. EA and Ubisoft are company run. They're bogged down by this fact. They cannot have the wide sales and discount.
You can say the same thing about Steam too. Steam has a wide range of sales.
Well, that's because Steam is in bed with everybody. Steam is like the dirty little grub. But the one thing I think it's funny that you didn't even bring up Desura, which is a competitor of Steam and has been for a long time, is probably better than Ubisoft or EA's, honestly.
Which one was it?
Desura.
Oh, Desura.
Which among the modders is probably among the modding community is probably used more than Steam.
But that's for mods.
Well, it's not even for mods. You can get full games on there.
I know you can, but it's just
like
not
Steam.
Many.
No,
but then it's to me it sounds a lot like when a new MMO comes out. They say it's going to be the best thing ever. That's going to dethrone WoW or whatnot, and it turns out to be.
GOG's approach to how they've run as a company has always been, we're thinking 5 steps ahead, slow, progressive growth. We're not trying to go and dethrone Steam. They've never claimed that. They've never been like, Steam's terrible, come use us.
Terrible.
Anything like that. They've just been like, listen, we want to put out a solid product, a solid service, and that's gotten them the attention. That's gotten them the user base over a decade now.
Okay.
Like they've steady growth, and I think that's what they're going to continue to do. So, if anything, Steam's going to have to look more carefully at what they do. They're not going to be able to have this paid mod flop.
Okay.
With GOG having Galaxy out there.
That's true. But it is an interesting development, that's for sure.
Well, and I kind of
go for it.
blanked out there for a minute, but like one of the things, did we already mention that like you'll be able to play with all the Steam people too? Like
it's going to be integrated with Steam?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can play the games with people on Steam as well. So it's like you're not losing that community of friends.
That is big. I think that's big.
It's a big deal. And you know what? Like, there's a lot of things wrong with Steam, and since this is a new hungry service, I'm thinking they're going to try to make sure to
capitalizing.
They're going to fix that shit, and they're going to give Steam the needed competition. Like they're the only kid in town when it comes to this. They're the best, but because nobody else is doing the same thing. I mean, you could say Origin is there. Okay, big whoop. It's only EA games. Only EA.
Unfortunately, there's some big names on there, like the Battlefield series and the Mass Effect series and Dragon Age. You want to play any of those on PC, you got to get it. And sadly, I have it installed on mine just to play those games.
I know, and that sucks. But the issue is that it's only EA. I mean, these other two services can service everything else.
And Ubisoft
I mean,
is just
EA
the
wants
crew.
EA wants a piece of that pie, but and they'll get it. But
the thing is, it's like they have their own service. But the thing is, they could populate it with their own product.
yeah,
And they have enough big name franchises that they can do that. Same thing with Ubisoft, even though the only game I play on that is The Crew. That's
but
it.
even those two companies have to cater to Steam in a degree, and you see that. Their new games
EA, no.
eventually come out.
EA is not catering to Steam at all.
Well, yeah, EA is not because EA is stupid. Let's all be
Yeah.
honest. EA is fucking moronic, and we all know this. We've known it for a long time. But even Ubisoft, like, they have their own thing, yeah, but they still cater to the Steam community. And
Yes.
sure, it makes the game boot up through Ubisoft's whatever the fuck they call it. I forget. Uplay.
It's Uplay, but then again, I think that is because they don't have as big of a library as EA.
Well,
That's the only reason.
I'm sure that's part of it.
You can be damn sure if they had as many IPs as EA, they wouldn't give a shit either.
Well, I mean, it depends on how they look at it, because they're losing money by doing it. Like, by being on Steam, they are getting that money, and you'll have people who they're like,
Yes and
I
no.
like Uplay. I like having it all there. I like getting the achievements and little points that I can use on cosmetic shit through Uplay.
Yeah,
so you'll have people
that
who
is
do
nice.
that, but you'll have people who still want that, who, like Tony said, still want that Steam community. And yeah, I completely blanked
It's
on
because
the
you can play as your
tie-in.
friends. Play with your friends.
But yeah, it's not even that. I mean,
That's
you
the
get
thing.
yeah, you don't. When it comes to PC gaming, online gaming, fractured player bases are one of the worst thing that happens, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because games
Look
lose
what happened.
players
Look what
over
happened to
time.
World of Warcraft. When it's now basically you got the hardcore people versus casual people, and it's like a never-ending war. And Blizzard is pretty much going with the casuals because it's a bigger market. But they
Well, it's
lost a
always a
lot
bigger
of people
market.
because of that.
Well, I mean
Or
as-
Nintendo with the Wii.
Yeah. As much as I want to like consider myself hardcore and some stuff like I'm top 100 in ESO right now, for example. Yeah, but I mean that's a time consuming. I have to be on top of my game. I can't like dick around and screw around when I'm playing. But to be fair, like you can't market a game towards me like and expect to thrive. I'm not your base. I'm not the largest part of your player base.
Yeah.
The casuals are. Like with PC gaming,
Or just look at
especially-
WildStar.
Well,
WildStar
yeah,
cater to more of the hardcore crowd,
and look at what
and they're struggling mainly
compared
because
to
of
Firefall,
which is a shame because WildStar's a fantastic game in my opinion. And I
Yeah.
love playing it. I sank a lot of hours into it, but I don't really play it as much anymore, mainly because I just don't have the time to devote to it anymore.
WildStar is a perfect example because flip it around and look at the success Firefall has gotten since it's been on Steam and updated.
Mm-hmm.
Games, the player base is growing again because it's a lot easier for casuals to get into it
Yeah, it's true.
because they don't have to worry about earning enough cred, for example, if you pay for a subscription.
I still have 6 months left.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you can't just ignore your casuals and make a game that's fit for hardcore players.
And I guess that's what GOG is trying to also capitalize, mainly because they have the access with Steam.
Yeah, but GOG's got the larger market if you think about it, because they have all the new games come out on GOG now, pretty much.
Okay.
But you get the older games that they have personally coded to work on newer systems,
That is big.
and
That
that
is
was
definitely big.
that's where GOG got its start, obviously. But they grew to a point where companies looked at them and were like, "Hey, we want you to sell our newer games as well,"
Ooh.
and they just continued that growth. But
Alright.
they haven't ignored their past either, which is something I
Yeah.
think Steam could definitely learn from.
Yes, this is true. Steam is kind of just sitting on it right now
Yeah,
for the most part, which is a shame because you have people who loved their games. It's because they started out like EA, like Ubisoft, where Steam was more for their own software, and then eventually it just exploded and started putting all games on there.
well, yeah.
It's like it was basically Valve's distribution service, and now it's a lot of games distribution services.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Steam.
Because-
don't get me wrong.
a lot of it's because it was the only game in town.
Yeah.
You know, like
It was World of Warcraft.
honestly, like, think about any business. Like, it only thrives when there's competition. Otherwise,
It gets
you get
better,
complacent. Yeah, you
Yeah.
only get complacent otherwise.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this develops. That's for sure.
I
But
know.
I'm going to be
I'm
picking it
down
up
for
regardless
it.
because I have some games on it.
Yeah,
whatever works.
I've got probably a good 100+ games in GOG
Mm-hmm.
already. Like, so I'm like, yeah, sweet. Give
Okay.
me a thing like Steam so I
Yeah.
can launch that up and have it going and
But-
everything. There.
But it also makes me think, who's going to be the next one to create a distribution service? Amazon? I know Rockstar has one.
Yeah, well, you've seen I mean, there's a lot of new, like, there's always distribution services popping up weird, or direct download services that are always popping up and whatnot. So, the problem is a lot of them get used for illegal means as well. Because we've seen stolen credit cards and stuff all happen on the lesser
Bank
known
credit card.
lines. Yeah,
That's true.
So,
All right. Do you think that they'll start making original content eventually?
I don't. GOG has never wanted
Probably
to
not.
original content.
Yeah.
It's never been
I
their
don't-
thing.
I don't think that's their end goal.
Okay.
And if
Yeah.
it is, like, hey, more good on them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? But I think their goal in all of this is to provide you games that you own. You don't have to be online. You can download it straight
You
to
can
your
play
PC.
offline. That's big too.
Well, yeah, you could download it straight to your PC and you have that game. You can install it as many times you want, offline, online. You could even distribute it if you want.
You could share. Oh, you could share them.
Yeah, I mean, it's DRM free. Like that's
Ooh.
you could just give it away if you wanted to. But you know, they trust their consumer,
Okay.
and it's the same thing that the music industry has done. You know, it's the exact same thing. So what I hope they're successful. But it's going to be a tough uphill battle for them. But again, competition's a good thing.
Oh, definitely. All right. So, like I said, I'm definitely interested in seeing how this plays out, and being that they are an already established site that sells the games, now they have a service to do so, and it integrates with Steam. I don't think it's going to be a flop. That's for sure.
I can't see it flopping outright.
Yeah, I definitely can't see it flopping. But all right. Well, those are all the topics that we have to cover for tonight's edition of PTC Free Play. Thank you very much again, Tony and Justin, for coming on tonight. Very, very, very thankful for that. And for those watching at home, thank you for watching. I am K7. See you next time. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.